Hey, good afternoon. Victor Johnson with Goodwill Columbus Workforce Development. Today we're going to be talking about workplace etiquette, common problems in the workplace. I'm a little more business casual today, and I can't find my glasses right now, but I think we're going to get through this. Okay, so we've had presentations about business and workplace etiquette before, but this one's going to be a little bit different because we're going to focus on some of the problems that happen in the workplace. So with that, let's get started. Okay, and if you've seen any of my other presentations, you know that I like to define the terms that I'm using. So what is etiquette? I got this from dictionary.com. It's a conventional requirement as to social behavior, proprieties of conduct as established in any class or community or for any occasion. A prescribed or accepted code of usage in matters of ceremony, as at a court or an official or other formal observances. Okay, so at a wedding, etiquette. When the bride comes down the aisle, you're supposed to stand up. And when the ceremony is going on, you're not supposed to, do any dog howls or, whoop it up or say anything really loud. You're supposed to be quiet and listen to the ceremony and let the bride and groom enjoy the ceremony. So that's etiquette. Basically, what that means is etiquette is a form of communication. You are saying, I understand how to act in this situation. That's etiquette. Okay. So why is learning workplace etiquette so important? Proper workplace etiquette can help you avoid or minimize the effects of discrimination, harassment, person-to-person conflict, communication problems, gossip, bullying, low motivation and job satisfaction, performance issues, and poor job fit. We're going to talk about each of these. Discrimination. How do you fight discrimination? Well, what you do is you seek to understand. You ask questions. If you don't understand something about someone, where they're from or, their ethnicity, any of their customs, ask questions. Ask questions. That's how you learn. You learn about people and you learn about the world. And then when you ask those questions, listen. Listen with your whole being. Don't listen just so you can reply or waiting to reply. Don't listen and then think about something else. Listen to that person. Put all your other stuff aside and listen. Don't allow it by inaction. If you see someone, being discriminated against, say something. Don't allow it by inaction. Sometimes you'll see people talking about someone in an office or, in a factory or a warehouse or, a store, wherever. You might hear two people talking about another person in a bad way, in a discriminatory way. Don't allow that. Just, talk to them. Don't allow it. And learn about unconscious bias. Now, what's unconscious bias? It is from the way we have been, brought up, our experiences through life, we get biases about people. And sometimes we don't even realize that we're using those biases. My example here is the thumbs up symbol. When you're looking for emojis or something like that, why is the thumb white? Now, up until I don't know how many years ago, but it wasn't too long ago that all of the, if you were going to do any kind of avatar or you were going to do an emoji, either the emoji was yellow or the emoji was white. And it didn't take into account that, if I want to do a thumbs up, My hand is not white. I'm an African American. So the person who developed that hand, why didn't they develop a hand in different colors for different people to use? Just like those sad faces there are in different colors for different people to use. That's something about unconscious bias, things that we let them go because we're not really thinking about them because we're so used to doing it that way. But it is discriminatory and it doesn't include everyone. So the next one we're going to talk about is harassment. Once again, when you're fighting harassment, you don't allow it by inaction. You don't allow it to happen to someone else. You don't allow it to happen to you. You report it using the proper channels. You talk to your supervisor, and then that supervisor is supposed to talk to their supervisor. And if your supervisor is the one that's doing the harassment, you go over that person's head and you take it to the next supervisor. Here's the thing. If you don't report it, nothing's going to happen. And if you allow it by inaction, and inaction is not just reporting it, inaction is saying, hey, I am not comfortable when you talk like that around me, or I am not comfortable when you touch me on, in a certain way when you shouldn't be using, your hands on me. Don't allow it by inaction, report it. And then educate other people on what it is. Some people may not understand that, telling jokes that have like sexy punchlines or something like that might be offensive to other people in the office. So, educate other people about what harassment might be. And it's not just sexual harassment. You can be harassed because you're different. And we're going to talk about that in just a few slides here. To overcome conflicts and communicate better, because interpersonal conflict and communication problems probably go together. To overcome those conflicts and communicate, understand better what conflict is. Understand what conflict is. Conflict is not always bad. And conflict can happen in your own mind. Do I have pizza or do I have a hamburger? There's a conflict. Okay, it doesn't have to always be bad. And understanding what conflict is, if someone says, I think we should come in on Saturday morning and work for 4 hours, and someone else says, well, I think we should stay Friday night and work for 4 hours on Friday night. There's a conflict. It doesn't have to be, knockdown, drag out. It's just two different opinions. So understand what conflict is. And then if you're in a situation where you feel yourself getting angry about something, breathe. Breathing has been shown to help people through situations where they are aggravated or situations where they're angry. Breathe. It helps you think. It gets that oxygen going to your brain. It helps you relax, and your brain is ready to think of an alternative instead of jumping to fight or flight. Ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask questions. Poor communication usually results either from no information or misinformation. So if you don't have the information you need, or someone's giving you bad information, ask questions. And then once again, if you ask the question, listen to the answer. Listen fully. Remember, put aside yourself and listen to the person. And then you can use I messages for good communication. And I gave an example of an I message just a little bit ago when I was talking about harassment. An I message doesn't blame or shame the other person if they're doing something that bugs you, okay? An I message talks about your feelings. And so it's easier for them to comprehend, and they don't get as defensive, or maybe they won't even get defensive at all. If I say, when you put your hand on my shoulder, I feel a little weird because I'm not really a touchy person. See, I didn't say, hey, keep your hands off me. Why are you putting your hands on me? I'm using an I message to talk about how I feel when you put your hand on my arm. That's it. And then gossip and bullying, they usually go hand in hand. Once again, don't allow it by inaction. If you hear people gossiping about someone else, don't participate in that. Don't stand around and just, listen. Do something about it, report it, talk to the people who are doing the gossiping. It's not nice to gossip about people. And eventually it gets to the person. So you wouldn't want people gossiping about you. So just be as considerate to someone else. Don't participate, don't allow it by inaction, confront it, report it to your supervisor, use the proper channels to report it, and then treat all your coworkers with respect and courtesy. If everyone is treating everyone else with respect and courtesy, you won't have any gossiping and you won't have any bullying. Low motivation and job satisfaction, performance issues, and poor job fit. Now, I hate to tell you this, but usually these problems are not someone else's fault. Usually these problems are in your wheelhouse. You're in charge of them. The way you approach your job and the satisfaction you get from doing your job depend on your attitude, your work ethic, your values, your abilities and skills, and your motivation. If you take a job that you hate just to have a job, well, you can expect that you're going to have maybe some performance issues and low motivation. So, I understand what it is to be out of work. On the other hand, I understand what it's like to have a job that you absolutely hate. That when you wake up in the morning, you just don't even want to get out of bed because you don't want to go to work or to that workplace. It's harmful. It's harmful to you physically and mentally. And you're not advancing in your career when you're taking a job just to earn money. Is that your only motivation about your job? Or is your motivation to build your career? Then that works towards your attitude. I'm going to be a good employee because I want to get promoted. I want to get raises. Your work ethic. You're the one that has to be on time. You're the one that has to come back from lunch on time. You're the one that has to do your best in your work. And your values, how you treat other people at work. Do you respect your supervisor? Do you respect your coworkers? If you do, and your attitude is good, and your work ethic is good, then you're going to enjoy your job more. And then your abilities and your skills. When you take a job where you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get upset. It's gonna weigh on you. So if there's something you want to do, first learn how to do it, or get a job where they teach you on the job how to do it. But find work that complements your abilities and your skills, and your motivation will be much higher. Your attitude will be better. Your work ethic will be right on, and your values, how you treat people, will show your respect for yourself. And this says your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card. How you leave others feeling after an experience with you becomes your trademark. And another word for trademark is brand. What is your brand? When people work with you after a day of work or after meeting you, what do they think about you? It is really in your power to determine how other people think about you. And you have a choice. You can either help them learn how to think about you, or you can let them just make up their own minds. I go for the other, the former. I would rather, from my brand, from the way I treat people, from the way I approach my job, that's how I want people to know my brand. I don't want them to make up a brand for me. So think about that when you're at work. What is your brand? And then, to finish, do your part to build a productive and collaborative work environment. Think about and learn about diversity and inclusion rights, a non-threatening workplace. Respect authority, respect others, and overall, above all, respect yourself, and all these other things will fall in line. Well, that's the presentation on workplace etiquette. Thank you very much for watching. And don't forget that, Goodwill is here for you to help you with so many things related to your understanding of how to build a career. From training to soft skills, we are here for you and we're here to help you. So just let us know what we can do and we'll be there for you. And once again, this is Victor Johnson signing off. I'll see you next time and have a great day.